بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي بنعمته تتم الصالحات وبفضله تتنزل الخيرات والبركات وبتوفيقه تتحقق المقاصد والغايات والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبي الرحمة وإمام الهدى محمد بن عبد الله صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين ثم أما بعد. Respected brothers, sisters, and elders, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How's everyone doing this evening? Alhamdulillah. So wonderful to be back after Umrah here at the Islamic Center of New-Rochelle to see such a lively audience. MashaAllah, brothers are increasing in number. Alhamdulillah, this is a great sign. And we hope that this continues, and we hope that more of our friends and families can join us in the upcoming programs, inshallah ta'ala. Tonight we shall go over the tafsir briefly over Surah Al-Falaq, which we addressed a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about Surah Al-Nas. And we mentioned that these two surahs are referred to as Al-Mu'awwidhatayn, the two that begin with A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, the two surahs that we seek Allah's refuge in, correct? Al-Isti'adha, we mentioned, is to seek refuge, protection in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Surah Al-Nas is of course the last and final surah in the Quran, surah number 114. The surah that precedes Surah Al-Nas is Surah Al-Falaq, the surah of the daybreak, of the dawn. And these two surahs we also mentioned were revealed after this incident took place in Medina. And actually there are two different views, opinions among the ulama, the scholars, as to when exactly these two surahs were revealed. So you have a group of scholars who say that Al-Mu'awwidhatayn, Al-Nas and Al-Falaq were revealed during the Meccan period. The Meccan period and the Madani period. For those of you that don't remember, the Quran is divided in two parts. You have the Meccan Quran and the Madani Quran. Who can tell us the difference between the Meccan Quran, the Meccan period, and the Madani period? Let's have... So before Hijrah is the Meccan period. And what is Hijrah again? Migration of the Prophet ﷺ from where to where? From Mecca to Medina. So before that move from Mecca to Medina, all of that period is called Meccan period. Any Quran that was revealed, any surahs that were revealed that period, those surahs are known to be Meccan surahs or Meccan Quran. Got it? Any Quran that was revealed after the Hijrah, migration from Mecca to Medina, that period is called the Madani period. Roughly the Madani period was how many years? 10 years. And the Meccan period was 13 years. 13 plus 10 equals 23. Muhammad ﷺ was a prophet from the age 40 to 63. 23 years he was a prophet, and he established the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the Quran was revealed throughout his entire 23-year prophetic life. Make sense? Got it. So now, some scholars say that Al-Nas and Al-Falaq were revealed in the Meccan period. Why? Because the content, the information we find in these two surahs reflect the themes of the surahs of the Meccan period. Okay? Other scholars say that Al-Mu'awwidhatayn were revealed in the Madani period. Why? Because Labid ibn Asam was the one who did the magic, who cast the spell on the Prophet ﷺ. And for this reason, Allah revealed Al-Mu'awwidhatayn so that the Prophet ﷺ can remedy and become free from this spell through the power and blessings of these surahs by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now how do we reconcile, since there are two opinions and these are quite two contrasting views, how do we bring this together? So there are scholars who say that there is no problem with these two different opinions. We can reconcile and bring the two together. How do we do that? We say that Al-Mu'awwidhatayn were in fact revealed during the Meccan period. However, they were, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed the Prophet ﷺ in the Madani period during that incident of the magic and the spell and the sihr, for the Prophet, peace be upon him, to use these surahs specifically for that situation. Make sense? So they were revealed in Mecca, but the Prophet ﷺ was ordered by Allah to remedy himself with these two surahs in Medina, specifically when the magic happened in Medina. Okay, so there's no problem bringing this together. And you find in Islam, in the Sharia, there are so many instances like this where there are two or three or multiple views, but our ulama, they are so genius, mashallah, so smart. They're able to bring two different hadiths together, two different verses together, two different opinions together, and come to a middle point or an agreement. Got it? Okay. So let us begin with the recitation of Surah Al-Falaq, inshallah, Surah number 113. And we'll do so as a group as we always. And then we'll go over the meaning and the brief commentary on that, inshallah. Is everyone ready? Alhamdulillah. You guys ready? Is there dinner tonight? There's always dinner tonight, right? MashaAllah. There's always dinner in our tafsir. So you guys, you have something great to look forward to after the conclusion of the tafsir. Jazakumullah khair. Now let's begin. So read after me, and then we'll read as a group. So first, listen, and then say after me. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
قل أعوذ برب الفلق
قل أعوذ برب الفلق
قل أعوذ برب الفلق
قل أعوذ برب الفلق.
Okay guys, not قل أعوذ برب قل أعوذ برب Okay, قل أعوذ برب الفلق
قل أعوذ برب الفلق
من شر ما خلق
من شر ما خلق
ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب
ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب
ومن شر النفاثات في العقد
ومن شر النفاثات في العقد
ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد
ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
Okay, so ومن, we make غنة here, we nasalize the sound because to get a little technical, the rule of tajweed here is إخفاء, right? ومن, there's a sheen after noon sakin, noon sukun. After that, there is a sheen. Sheen is one of the letters of إخفاء. So we make غنة here, right? So when you see, or when you find ومن, you have to nasalize, prolong the sound just a little bit, okay? ومن شر النفاثات في العقد
ومن شر النفاثات في العقد.
You see, وَمِن شَرٍّ, we mentioned in the past that this is noon shadda, right? Noon mushadda. On top of the noon, there is, you know that little W looking sign? The little W? This is called shadda. What shadda is, it doubles the letter or the sound. Okay? So, if you see a noon with the shadda, this actually means two noons together. Noon, noon. But in Arabic language, you don't write two noons together. You write one noon and you put the shadda on the top, which means this has the right of two noons. Got it? Same thing with the meme. Meme and noon, this is very common throughout the Quran. Anytime you find on top of the noon, you know that little W, shadda, it's called shadda. I'm just saying W so you guys understand. It's not called W. Noon with the shadda on top, you have to nasalize, make ghunna, right? إِنَّا أَعْطَيْنَاكَ الْكَوْثَرَ. You see, okay? قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ, right? مَلِكِ النَّاسِ. So right here we said, وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. So anytime in the Quran you come across noon shadda or mim shadda, make sure shadda you make ghunna. Got it? Perfect. وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ.
ومن شر حاسد إذا
Okay,
حسد.
here there's one rule. وَمِن شَرِّ ri. Everyone say ri. It's different from re. You know how in English we say really? It's not that R, right? It's from the tip of your tongue. Ra, 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 ra. وَمِن شَرِّ. You see, شَرِّ. Okay? وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ.
ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
MashaAllah, we're making progress. This is good. Okay? Al-Falaq and An-Nas are two of the most widely read surahs by Muslims across the globe, and this is from the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Very special and dear surahs to the Prophet and to the believers and to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there are many virtues. We talked about this in the past, and perhaps if we have a few minutes at the end of the talk, we'll review those, inshallah ta'ala. Now let's read as a group together in one voice, inshallah. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. صدق الله العظيم. Surah Al-Falaq is surah number 113 in the Holy Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ. Anytime you find in the Quran the word قُلْ, Allah is commanding the Prophet and the believers. Commanding. This is an order from Allah. And we know in Arabic language the word قُلْ, qaf, lam means what? To say or tell. Say. Allah is commanding the Prophet, peace be upon him, قُلْ, say, أعوذ برب الفلق. I seek refuge with the Lord of Al-Falaq. I seek refuge in the Lord of Al-Falaq. من شر ما خلق. From the evil of what He has created. From the evil of what He has created. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبْ. And from the evil of the غاسق when it waqabs. Okay? And from the evil of the غاسق when waqab. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. And from the evil of the blowers of the knots. وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. And from the harm in the envier when he envies. Okay, so for us, might sound like all of these technical terms, very abstract concepts. Inshallah, we'll try to break it down and present it in simple English for all of us to understand, inshallah. So let us begin with the first ayah, of course, after the Basmalah, after Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allah is commanding, say, I seek refuge with Allah, the Lord of Al-Falaq. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ, the Lord of Al-Falaq. So, we talked about the meaning of Lord previously. What is Al-Falaq? The surah takes its name from the first ayah, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. What is Al-Falaq? Yes, sir. The surah of dawn, okay. Dawn is actually the meaning of Al-Falaq. You know, early morning. Fajr time, this is known as Al-Falaq, Subh, the dawn time, the crack of dawn, the beginning, just when the sun starts to rise. That period is called Al-Falaq. There are two meanings of Al-Falaq, and we'll take the meaning that majority of the ulama they explain, which is the primary meaning. Al-Falaq means the early morning, the dawn time. And why the dawn? Why Al-Falaq? You find in our cultures, American culture, different cultures across the world, the dawn, the daytime, the beginning of the next early morning, resembles a new change. It brings forward hope, light, inspiration. It brings another new leaf in the life of a person. It shows that there is a new beginning. So all of these positive ideas and concepts are attached to Al-Falaq. When you hear Al-Falaq, it's very refreshing. The early morning, you begin to see the light of the sun, the rays start to emerge from the sky. You start to hear the birds chirping. It's very still, very serene, very calm. If you ever walked early morning, right before the sun begins to rise, or when you walk out of the masjid after Salatul Fajr, isn't it so calm? Isn't it so peaceful? The chaos has not started in the world quite yet. The hustle and bustle of the cities and the streets did not begin yet, right? Human beings are just about maybe starting their days. Many of them are still asleep. So you find this stillness, this calmness, this atmosphere of goodness there, right? So Al-Falaq is used in the Quran, not only here, but in other passages we find. Inna Allah faliqul habbi wan nawa. Allah mentions Himself as Faliq, the one who is opening, and the one who begins this, he cracks open. So like this, Wad-Duha, for example, is another surah dedicated to the Prophet ﷺ, a new beginning, a new dawn, correct? This is what we even say in English. Tomorrow is the beginning of a new day. A new dawn will start tomorrow, yeah? So, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who begins each day and who ends each day. He is the one who opens up the day and who cracks open after the night has concluded, okay? قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ. From the evil of what He has created. No doubt Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the world, the universe in existence, yeah? Here there's an important note to make, that although Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, for example, shaitan, iblis, and He allowed certain evil things to happen by the freedom of people's wills and the jinn's wills, but we don't say that Allah is the creator of evil, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, right? We don't say that Allah is the one who created negative things, نَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنْ ذَلِكَ, right? Allah allows certain things to happen, but this is up to human beings. Allah, no way on earth ever commands or, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ. Allah is always commanding just and goodness to people. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَأْمُرُ بِالْفَحْشَاءِ, right? He doesn't command obscenity, immorality, right? These are the doings of man, of people, of his creation. So we seek refuge in Allah from all of the evil that exists, from all of the haram that exists in this world, from all of the fitna and the fasad, all of the corruption and the negative things that are out there. We ask Allah to protect us from those. Ameen. Right? So this is part of this verse here, that all of the bad, evil, ugly things that are out there, including magic, including jealousy, including spells and sorcery, these kinds of things do exist. Allah didn't encourage those. This is not the nature of Allah. But there are evil-minded people and other creation and elements that do these things, and we ask Allah to protect us from those things. Ameen. And we find that the Prophet, peace be upon him, in that phase in Medina, he fell prey to this type of evil. For this reason, this man, Labid ibn A'sam, who was a Jew, he decided to cast a spell, who was an expert in magic. And we talked about the knots, the hair, right? And how the spell was cast and thrown inside the well. And how the Prophet, peace be upon him, felt its symptoms especially after the first half of the year, the second part of the year, he started feeling that in the last few days before the spell was taken out, he felt intense pain, of course, which he did not expose to the community, but his wife and his family members, they were able to see some of that. So, nonetheless, if the Prophet ﷺ was struck by this evil, then what about us? Right? So we must be careful and cautious. And this is one important lesson that we learn from this surah, that no matter what, we always have to ask Allah to protect us, because we don't know what's out there. We don't know who's out there to harm us, and we don't know what could potentially harm us. For this reason, we always take the preventive measure and we seek refuge in Allah from all type of evil that exists. Okay? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبْ. What is غاسق and what is waqab? What is غاسق? What is waqab? So, many of the mufassirun, commentators of the Quran, including Mujahid, rahimahullah, he said that غاسق is the night. غاسق means night. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبْ. And what does waqab mean? Waqab means, it refers to the setting of the sun. Maghrib time. The, sunset, this time. This is called waqab. When the sun sets, this time is known as waqab. And ghasiq means the night time. Some even say the deep dark, the darkness of the night. And why the nighttime here? Why are we asking Allah to protect us from the nighttime and when the sun goes down? Because majority of the evil crimes that happen in the world, all of the ugly, nasty sins that happen in the world, majority of them usually, generally, happen at nighttime. Murder, rape, fornication, even theft. Most of these things, I'm not saying these things don't happen in the day, they do. But more, they happen at night, right? If you, ratio, if you see the proportion of these sins happening during the day and night, majority of them happen at night, right? Nightlife, correct? Nightlife. This is the culture of shaitan, right? These clubs open up at night, Friday night, Saturday night, nightlife. This is exactly here what we see. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبْ. We seek protection in Allah from the nightlife when they begin. Because when we retire, when we end our day, that's when they begin their day. And their day begins with their nights, with their evil actions, with their lewdness, with their impurity, with their filth, with their disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You understand? So it's very important for us to keep in mind that the night is when many sins happen, and we seek refuge in Allah to protect us from all of the evil that the night brings. Allahumma ameen. And then you have وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. Sorry, I missed an ayah. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. So you have naffath and you have uqad. What is naffath and what is uqad? The ulama, they explain, naffath refers to witches, those who perform magic, witches. Now we're not talking about those traditional witches, black hat, she's flying around in a broom, right? That's probably stuff you see during or around Halloween. There are real life actual witches who work all year round, and they come in different shapes and forms. And if you might be interested in knowing this, that magicians also have different schools, meaning they have different methods, they have different approaches, they have different madhabs, if you will. They have different theories and different formulas, how they cast spells on people, how they do sihr, how they get the assistance from jinn. And magicians together combined, they cause harm on this individual or this person, or these kinds of effects come about because of this particular formula. You guys understand? For us, all of us, this is kind of really hard to imagine, but just understand that there are evil people who do these things, which is kufr, disbelief in Allah. This is, totally, it takes a person outside of Islam. Anyone who goes to a magician or who does magic, automatically they take themselves out of Islam, meaning they are no longer Muslim. Can you believe how scary and crazy that is? That's unbelievable. Somebody who goes to a magician or who does magic automatically disbelieves in Allah and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if they repent, if they change, then they have to become Muslim again. They have to take the Shahada again. They have to make Tawbah again, publicly, and they have to purify themselves and say the kalima new, and then come inside the fold of Islam. May Allah protect us. Ameen. So Nafath are the witches. So what is Nafatha? Nafath, you have Nafatha, which comes, when we talk about Nafath. Nafatha means to blow and to spit combined, meaning it's between a blow and a spit. There's no English word for that. So when you spit in the English language, of course, there's saliva coming out, correct? When you spit, you are releasing saliva element from your mouth coming out, yeah? Okay. In English, when you blow, there's just air, wind coming out, yeah? There's no saliva coming out, yeah? So you have blow and you have spit, you understand? And then, right? So you have something coming out, something not coming out. You have air coming out and you have air and spit coming out. Nafath means blow and spit, but it's a type of blow that's coming out, there's no spit coming out. It's a blow, it's a heavy type of blow, but no spit. Make sense? There's no English word for that. This is Nafath. This is Nafath. So for example, the Prophet ﷺ taught us that if you wake up in the middle of the night, or if your sleep interrupts and you wake up due to a nightmare, bad dream, where you get scared at night, what did the Prophet teach us to do? We turn to the left and we do this nafath, meaning you don't start spitting on the wall next to you or your bed, right? It's nasty, or even worse, or your wife, right? She's gonna say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, where did this shaitan come from, right? Don't spit on your wife, don't even wake her up, don't disturb her. Or if you're, the guys, if you're, maybe bed is on the side of the wall or something, the point is not for you to dirty or make or stain your wall. That's gross, that's nasty. But this is nafath. What you do is, it's a type of spit that there's no spitting. It's a type of blow, there's no spitting. 3 times and you say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. You seek refuge in Allah from shaitan. You say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There are other dua you can find in Hisn al-Muslim, the good dua book, Hisn al-Muslim. And the Prophet taught us to blow like this. You understand? So you find nafath here, it's a type of blow and spit, sort of half-half, if you will. And what happens is, these magicians, what they do is, they do nafatha on knots. Uqad. Uqad means knots. And these magicians, what they do, they have a crazy way of putting magic in knots. And we have seen with the Prophet's magic, ﷺ, they took his hair, they tied it in knots, and they put the magic spell on those knots. Right? Don't ask me, I'm not an expert magician, I have no idea, never seen that. I don't ever want to see that stuff. We should not ever be exposed to those things. But just understand that this stuff happens even in America. There are cases of this kind of hasad and, of sihr and nafath on uqad, blowing on knots. Okay? And you have this in Asia, in Europe, in Africa. And there are some trained, good, qualified imams, raqis, not always imams, even not regular people, who have knowledge about this, who can do ruqyah from Quran and from Sunnah, and they can release these knots. But they do it with the Quran. They do it with the Sunnah, with special dua from prophetic tradition. Make sense? But again, you have to be careful. Because some of these people, they say they are qualified, but then they charge people so much money. At the end, there is no result, and they don't bring any kind of healing or remedy. And some of these people use this as a business, and they do all these kinds of bid'ah, innovations, which is not in line with the Quran or the Sunnah. You understand? So you have to be careful. If you know somebody who's afflicted with sihr, there are very few people, which I'm still trying to come to know, very few people who are able to do this stuff, especially here in America. Not so many. In Muslim majority countries, it's a little more common. So there are some more qualified imams there. I know in Morocco, I met one imam, Raqi, in Morocco when I went, and he helped many people come out of the magic and sihr that they were afflicted by. So this is Nafath Uqad, somebody, a magician or a witch who blows on knots. Okay? So next time you read Surah Al-Falaq, now you will understand, hopefully, more of the meaning that you recite, inshallah ta'ala. وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. And we seek refuge in Allah from the hasid, the one who envies when he envies, when he has hasad. Now here, this is a really touchy subject, right? This is a really sensitive topic. Envy is not always a bad thing. Envy, being jealous, is not always a negative thing. Overall, it is a negative trait. But sometimes, in some cases, it's okay. Such as, the Prophet ﷺ said, you can be jealous of two people. You can have hasad over two people. What are these two people, or who are these two people? Someone who knows Quran, who has knowledge, and with that knowledge, they are refining themselves, they are improving themselves, they are such better people with that knowledge. So you can feel jealous over a person who has more knowledge than you, more Quran than you. Why? Not so that you wish they can go down, so that you can become like them. So you motivate yourself, so you become inspired. Oh Allah, you gave such and such person knowledge of Quran. I really want to be like him. Can you please, Ya Rabb, make me like him and increase him in his knowledge and bless him also. Like this, if you use this person to motivate you, this is a positive jealousy, yeah? This is a positive envy. When someone is generous, when someone is kareem, somebody who has a lot of wealth, mashallah, they are giving fi sabilillah, they are spending in the path of Allah. Oh Allah, I wish I could be like this person. You don't wish to be like this person so that person decreases in his wealth, so that person becomes poor. No, you have this jealousy to be like that person because you want to do the same. You also want to spend in the path of Allah. You don't have too much money, but so-and-so has money. Oh Allah, I want to be like that person. Why? Not so I can buy fancy cars and all of these things, but it's not wrong to do that, of course, but I want to do what he's doing, who is spending in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You understand? So you can be jealous of people who are better than you, who are doing good, so that you can be like them. So you can be even better. But you cannot be jealous of someone because you don't have that, and you don't want them to have that. When someone has a nice house or a nice family, and you don't have maybe all of that, you shouldn't feel bad for that person. You shouldn't be like, man, why does so-and-so have this and I don't? This is the worst type of jealousy. Why? Because now you're directly being jealous with Allah. You're kind of showing your discontent with what Allah decided for that person. You understand? Allah wanted that person to have this kind of life, and now you're upset that that person has that life and you don't have that life. But you have to understand, Allah is the one who decided that. So by default, by nature, what you're doing is you're showing that you're not happy with what Allah decided. This is the worst type of crime a person can do, and this is the worst type of jealousy, and this is the worst type of miserliness, because this is the generosity of Allah. Why are you pulling with why are you pushing Allah with His generosity? You understand? I'm not being generous. I'm not helping this person. Allah gave me money, I'm not supporting this person, but someone else is supporting this person and I'm feeling jealous. You understand? You know, you find orphans around the world, and mashallah, Islamic Relief, other organizations, or even privately people do this. They sponsor orphans, where if it's overseas, different country, in Yemen, Bangladesh, in Sri Lanka, in Morocco, wherever, there are poor people, orphans. So someone says, I'm going to take care of this miskin, this yatim, whole year. $40, $50 a month. La shay, that's nothing, man. Right? That's not even your phone bill. But it makes a huge difference. At the end of the year, they send you an update every. Look at the orphan you took care of. Right? 40, 50, 60, $80 every month. They add up. And it helps cover the cost of the child's tuition in school. Their 2-3 meals a day. Basic clothes and some supplies. No parents, but you're contributing, you're helping. So somebody is doing this, mashallah, ongoing, year after year after year. And then another person sees this. I have no idea why some people would feel jealous over this, but then there are some people who do, unfortunately, some weak-minded people. And they think like, man, so-and-so has, a nice property, nice car, kids are doing well in school, everybody's healthy. On top of that, they're involved in the community, they're giving charity, sadaqah, they're sponsoring this orphan. You know, they find faults and problems in these people's behavior, and they don't do half of those things, and they feel jealous over those people. Right? Allah gave this person tawfiq to do this, ability to do this. You're not doing it, and on top of that, you have the audacity to hate on that person. This is directly causing friction with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to be mindful of that. So there is that good type of jealousy which pushes someone to do more good, which helps you to become better, motivate. But then there's this evil, ugly jealousy which destroys a person. And not only that, but it destroys the person who's also being envied. Do you understand? Al-aynu haqq. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that jealousy is true, it's real, it's not fake. This is not a fantasy. This is not a fairy tale we're talking about. This is not fiction. This is non-fiction. This is reality. Right? So you find these days with social media, especially with Instagram, with Snapchat, our lives are so open, exposed. Everything is broadcasted, right? So what's supposed to be intimate, secret, what's supposed to be between you and your loved ones, now the whole entire world sees. You understand? And here we mean like the actual world, the icon, the symbol, the world. You can actually, set your privacy settings to, any stranger who can come across your account or profile. They have access to your images, right? Now, not everybody makes their accounts private. You understand? Not everybody limits their posts on social media to their friends on their list, right? Some people keep things, like me personally, I don't share personal stuff on Facebook or on Instagram. Very rarely, if I make like a nice sandwich or something, I'll just post it up. I remember doing it once or twice on Instagram. It's just for fun. That's one thing, right? But if I decide to share my daily activities, right? My daily interactions with my parents, with my kids, with my family members, online, the places I'm going, personal family vacations, for example, right? Or the family meetings we are having together. Or like personal things that I'm doing that I haven't even completed yet. If I start to go ahead and share these with the world, I'm just putting myself in danger. I'm not saying people are evil. Naturally, normally people are good. But you see, people also, they are human beings and they have weakness inside. So this feeling inside from them, when they see a newborn cute baby that is born in your family, you post up, maybe you didn't even go home yet and you're sharing with the whole world on social media, you don't know who is looking at the picture of your beautiful cute baby. You don't know who has been married for 17 years and who doesn't have any baby. You understand? I'm not saying these people are bad. They're not. They're good people. But you see the pain they have, the hardship they feel when they see the joy in someone else. They think about their misery. They think about their pain and suffering. And naturally, that hardship that they feel, usually, well, I don't want to generalize, but very few people don't immediately make dua for that person. You understand? So they feel bad first, like, oh, man, So someone who's always posting delicious food, my wife is cooking, mashallah, she cooked kabsa today with lamb. Tomorrow she cooked goat biryani, mashallah. Next day she's cooking couscous on Jummah, with kusa and potato and carrots and all of that stuff, right? Bismillah. And then next day there is this item, next day there's that. And you're sharing this. Somebody who has a wife who doesn't cook all the time, who doesn't cook, he's gonna get so upset at his wife. He's gonna be, depressed. He's gonna be so jealous. Like, yeah, he might even divorce his wife, brother is saying. And this is not something uncommon, actually. Or even worse, somebody who doesn't have a wife, someone who does not have a wife, maybe he is trying to get married for some time, but he's failing every time. And he sees this, mashallah, beautiful life, happy wife, food, right? Tasty meals, great kids, everybody sitting around the table. He's gonna feel bad. Why? Because he doesn't get to experience that. So you mean well, you have good intention maybe, you want to share something happy, joyous, you want to be, something, you just want to share the good moments with your friends and loved ones online. But in doing that, the harm that you are creating is more than the good. Because you're making others feel bad for what they don't have. And you are bringing this, oftentimes unintended evil eye, hasad, on yourself. So you find the next day, the day is going so bad. Like night before you had a wonderful dinner. Next morning, you're so upset, everybody's so cranky, right? You're late for work. Kids are not listening to you. You got an upset stomach. You got diarrhea before this happened to you. So you put the good food out there last night. You don't know who did the hasad, and next morning you have food poison. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. It sounds amusing, but this is very common. This is very common. And you think all of a sudden, right? Like you post up a nice, I'm so thankful for my wife. Today is my anniversary. We went here, blah, 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 blah. Next day you get in the biggest argument of your life. You don't even know where it came from. You don't even know where it came from. Everything was so lovely. We had such a good time. What happened? You know what happened? The evil eye. It can happen, the evil eye. So we have to be very cautious, very careful. And social media today is one of the major causes for divorces, is one of the major causes of bullying in school, is one of the major reasons why there is so much misunderstanding between people, suspicion and doubt. So my advice to myself and everyone here, your personal family related matters, try to keep it within your family and your personal life. Don't broadcast it to the world. Your public life, your community life. So the question is so what can we share on social media? What is allowed to share on? So for example, I'm live streaming this. People are watching all over the world. They're benefiting from this, alhamdulillah. So when there is benefit, you can share something, right? So it's a good article, good video, maybe a nice meme, or, there are good memes out there, believe it or not. Good information, things of that sort. You have a nice quotation you want to share. You want to share a nice little story that happened in your life or experience, you can do that. You want to maybe share an interaction you had with your family member. For the sake of teaching, inspiring, you can do this. This is allowed. But you guys are together with your loved ones in the living room. You're taking pictures, selfies, and you share. Oh, my family came over from Boston. We had a great time. What's the point of that? Really, there is no point, right? That's why you have WhatsApp. That's why you have WhatsApp, and you can create family groups. And you want to share pictures with the people that you were with, share it directly with them through WhatsApp. You don't need to put it up for your 2,300 friends to see on Facebook. You understand? Because again, you don't know who is struggling with what, and we want to protect ourselves, and we don't want to cause harm on other people too. So what can we do to protect ourselves from the envy of others? It is to recite Surah Al-Falaq and Surah Al-Nas in the morning 3 times, in the evening 3 times. Just, when you wake up after Fajr, you can read this. It's encouraged to read this actually after every prayer. The Prophet ﷺ used to do this. But minimum, you should try to recite Al-Falaq and Al-Nas in the morning 3 times and in the evening 3 times after Maghrib. This will protect you. We mentioned that before we go to sleep, the Prophet ﷺ used to recite Al-Falaq and Al-Nas, and he used to blow on him, on his palm like this. He used to make a cup, and he used to wipe over his body as many areas as he could reach, yeah? And this was a protection at night. Al-Falaq and Al-Nas are very powerful protection for children. Before you send your kids to school, when you drop them off, on your way, in the car, read Al-Falaq and Al-Nas, blow on them, and send them off to school. Allah will protect them, inshaAllah. He will protect them from all kinds of harm, from bullying, from not focusing, from not concentrating, from being distracted, from the fitna that exists within the school setting, etc. Allah will protect them from all kinds of evil and harm. Okay, so let us try to implement these teachings bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Of course, there are many reflections, many other points we can mention. We'll take some questions bi'idhnillah. So Al-Falaq and Al-Nas are two of the surahs that begin with A'udhu Billah, seeking refuge in Allah. A'udhu, this is why they are called Al-Mu'awwidhatayn. They will protect you from all kinds of harm and evil in this world, spiritual as well as physical. So let us not fail to read these surahs, inshallah ta'ala. Let us read them regularly, understand the meaning, and refresh our memories. Because of course, most of us, we won't remember every single word in Al-Falaq, the meaning. So we should revisit and revise, inshallah ta'ala. I encourage you to read the translation of the Quran, and if you can, even better, read the tafsir, because today we cannot go into in-depth. 1 hour is not enough time to go into every single thing, right? But there's so much detail covering these surahs, inshallah. I recommend you guys to read up on that as well, bi'ithnillah. What else was I going to mention? Oh yeah. So when you see some good in another person, to protect yourself from feeling jealous or having hasad, you should make dua for the person. So when you see something good, and I end with this is a good place to end, inshallah. When you see anything good, you say, MashaAllah. You say, MashaAllah. You can say, La quwwata illa billah. This is in Surah Al-Kahf. You can say, MashaAllah, La quwwata illa billah. And then you say, Allahumma barik. Minimum, you should say, Allahumma barik. Oh Allah, please bless. Oh Allah, please bless. Now understand that MashaAllah itself is not a dua. MashaAllah means by the permission of Allah. But this is not a dua you are making for that thing or that person. What secures a person from the impact, the negative harm of hasad, is when the person who sees, they make a special dua for that. Right? So for example, I see someone with a newborn baby, automatically I should say from my heart, MashaAllah, Allahumma barik, may Allah bless. Allahumma barik lahu if it's a boy, Allahumma barik laha if it's a girl. But minimum you should say Allahumma barik. This way you make dua to Allah and you leave this person or this thing in the care of Allah. So Allah will put barakah and bless this person. If you know Arabic, you can say Allahumma barakallahu laka fiha, or barakallahu fikum. You can say barakallahu fikum. MashaAllah, you see this in the Arab community. People are making dua always, right? They say barakallahu fik, may Allah bless you. Barakallahu laka fi ahlika wa fi malika, right? May Allah bless you in your family, in your wealth. But do you know you can also say it in English? You can say, may Allah bless you. May Allah bless your children. May Allah bless your family. May Allah bless you in your studies. May Allah bless you in your health. May Allah bless you in your work. You see somebody with a nice car, mashallah, may Allah bless you in this car. You see somebody, they bought a house, mashallah, may Allah bless you with this house. They share the good news of their son or daughter getting into a good college or high school. MashaAllah, may Allah bless your child in his or her studies, right? So when you say, may Allah bless you, this is the greatest thing you can do. Allah protects that person and gives barakah and khair and prevents that person from experiencing any difficulty, inshallah. So we as believers, we wish good to others. We want well for others. So let us make dua for our brothers and sisters when they experience something good. When people get married, what is the dua the Prophet ﷺ used to say upon greeting the newly married couple? He used to say, Barakallahu laka. Barakallahu lakuma wa baraka alaykuma wa jama'a baynakuma fi khayr. Do you see how many times the word barakah is mentioned in that greeting of marriage? You understand? Subhanallah. When a child is born, it is narrated, Barakallahu laka fil mawhub wa shakarta al-wahib wa balagha ashuddahu wa ruziqta birrah. Right? This is a dua to congratulate a newborn. You see how many times barakah is mentioned there? Subhanallah. So like this, barakah protects people from hasad. And when we see others, we should make dua that Allah blesses them and gives them more barakah in that, inshaAllah ta'ala. And like this, they will be protected. And when the Prophet ﷺ recited Al-Mu'awwidhatayn, it is narrated that each verse he read, the knots kept opening until he was free from that spell. And these two surahs prove to be the destroyer of spells and magic. So let us read these surahs frequently, morning and evening, and on our families, on our children, inshallah, and we will find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect us and He will bless us. May Allah ta'ala grant us tawfiq, Allahumma ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us our sins. May He forgive our mothers and our fathers, our spouses, our children. May He forgive those who are alive, those who are dead. We ask Allah Ta'ala to give shifa ajila kamila to all those who are sick. We ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to keep us on the straight path as long as we live. We ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to help our brothers and sisters in India.
One of the brothers' wife passed away yesterday. This make dua for.
One of our brothers, his wife passed away yesterday. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We pray that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala forgives her, showers her with His choicest mercy. May He enter her into the highest levels of Jannah al-Firdaus. We ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to grant our brother Sabrun Jameel. We ask Allah Ta'ala to grant his loved ones, his family, steadfastness and strength during this difficult loss. We ask Allah Ta'ala to bless our family members, those who are alive, with good health and good iman. And we ask Allah Ta'ala to take us away from this world when He is the most pleased with us. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. We ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to bless each and every brother and sister and elder who is gathered here in this beautiful masjid. We ask Allah to reward abundantly all the brothers and sisters who run this masjid. Ameen. We ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to give khair and barakah in all those who attend this masjid, all of the musallin, all of the members of this wonderful community. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. May Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala give us the ability and allow us to implement what we learned and what we said and heard this evening. May He put khair and barakah in this tafsir lecture series, and we pray that more and more people can come and benefit. Allahumma ameen. We ask Allah Ta'ala to bring an end to all of the injustice and dhulm that is happening to our brothers and sisters in India, in Kashmir, in Burma, in China. We ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to protect us from the coronavirus and all of the viruses and harms and diseases that are out there in this world. May Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala bring an end to this virus and protect all of humanity from its impact and its ugly, evil impacts. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خير.